Tithing is one of the most talked about and most misunderstood topics in the Bible. Some people say it is an Old Testament law that no longer applies. Some churches preach it every single Sunday, and a lot of believers sit somewhere in the middle genuinely unsure what to believe. So today we are going back to the Word and letting the Bible speak for itself. Stay with me to the end of this one because point 3 alone might change the way you think about money forever. And if you are not subscribed yet, do that now so you catch every episode. Here we go. 1. Tithing existed before the law. It is older than Moses. Genesis chapter 14 verse 20. Abraham gave a tenth of everything to Melchizedek. This was hundreds of years before the Mosaic law was given. The argument that tithing is just an Old Testament law falls apart right here. Abraham tithed. Jacob tithed. Both of them did it before the law existed. Tithing is not a legal obligation. It is a faith principle that predates every covenant except the covenant of grace itself. It was never just about money. It was always about recognizing that everything belongs to God and choosing to honor Him with the first portion. 2. God called not tithing robbing Him, and He meant it. Malachi chapter 3 verse 8. Will a mere mortal rob God? Yet you rob me. But you ask, how are we robbing you? In tithes and offerings. That is one of the most confronting verses in the entire Old Testament. God did not use soft language. He said rob, because withholding from God what belongs to Him is not just disobedience. It is taking something that was never yours to keep. The tithe is not 10% of your income. It is the first 10% that was always His. You are simply returning what belongs to Him. 3. Tithing is the one place God invites you to test Him. Malachi chapter 3 verse 10. Test me in this and see if I will not throw open the floodgates of heaven and pour out so much blessing that there will not be room enough to store it. God does not ask us to test Him anywhere else in Scripture. But here He specifically says, bring the whole tithe and test me. That is not a prosperity gospel gimmick. That is a direct invitation from God. He is putting His own faithfulness on the line. If you have never tithed consistently and trusted God with the result, this is your invitation to try it. Not as a transaction, as an act of trust. 4. Tithing is an act of worship, not a financial transaction. Proverbs chapter 3 verse 9. Honor the Lord with your wealth, with the first fruits of all your crops. The word here is honor, not pay, not transfer. Honor. Tithing is not a bill you settle with God every month. It is a declaration that He is first, that you trust Him more than you trust your bank balance, that the 90% He leaves in your hands is enough because He is more than enough. When you tithe from that place, it stops being an obligation and becomes one of the most freeing financial decisions you will ever make. Tithing is not about the church needing your money. It is about your heart needing to stay surrendered to God. When you honor Him first with what He gave you, everything else falls into order. Share this with someone who has been wrestling with this question. Subscribe for the next episode of Biblical Money Lessons.